Welcome back to another episode of Unscripted, the go-to podcast for those flipping the script and taking the unexpected path. I'm your host, Jessica Bergio, holistic life and business coach, author, speaker, and self-proclaimed high-energy hype girl. Each week, I'm bringing you inside. No gatekeeping here. I'll touch on proven holistic business strategies, powerful mindset shifts that have led my clients through massive transformations, and no BS conversation with industry leaders designed to help you get out of your own way to actively pursue a life of purpose. If you're ready to ditch the limitations at the door, hit follow and get ready to be activated to step boldly towards your big goals. Now let's dive in. Hey, welcome back to Unscripted. It's your girl, Jess Bergio. I'm so excited to have you on today. And if you've ever found yourself standing at the edge of something super big, whether it's starting a podcast, launching that business, or taking the leap of faith into the unknown, you know exactly what it feels like to be hit with a wave of fear and uncertainty. I certainly do. I've been there 1.5 million times. It's why I want to bring conversation around this. So today we're talking about something that all of us experience, right? At some point or another. Like seriously, overwhelmingly debilitating at times. Why do we as women, I think I'm speaking to my women listeners right now, I think that's most of us, let fear and uncertainty get in our way when we try to chase big dreams, goals, or try something new for the first time? It's such an important conversation because I truly believe the things that we're most afraid of, the things that scare us the most, are usually the things that are most aligned with our highest purpose. That's why we have such a deep connection to it, and we feel like we could literally die if we try to do the thing or if it doesn't work out, right? Our biggest growth is in those moments of uncertainty, of actually pushing forward and we're like, damn, why does it always have to feel like this, right? I mean, geez. First of all, let's just get real. Fear is a natural part of life. It's part of the quote unquote process, if you will. But that fear, it's a signal that you're probably about to stretch yourself out of your comfort zone and do something new, unfamiliar. But I feel like that's usually when you have potential life changes that happen. But we have to understand that fear doesn't always mean we're not ready. It just means we're stepping into growth. And for that, I'm thankful because growth always is my goal. And I know it's probably your goal as well. But the reason why I feel like so many women are held back by fear and uncertainty is a mix of things. It's a mix of societal expectations, our own personal stories and self-doubt, the overwhelming desire to be freaking perfect and make sure that we're quote unquote doing it right. Can I get an amen, right? We're often raised to put everybody else's needs first because we saw somebody else doing that, whether that's your mom or the caregiver that you had, and then it's to seek validation before we take action that everybody agrees that this is the thing we should be doing. And let's be real, we just want to wait till the perfect moment. We want to feel like we're ready when we all know ready is a lie and that we're probably not going to get the validation we're seeking. In fact, we might actually get the opposite because we know, A, there's no perfect moment. And if you try to wait for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. And maybe that's been the case for you when it comes to certain goals that you've been wanting to start chasing or dreams that you wanted to, kind of start digging into. Maybe they make no sense in your current life or your current season and situation, but you'll be waiting forever if you wait for the perfect moment. And I know that's hard to hear, but it's the truth. Anything that I've ever started, I didn't quite feel ready to do. Some of the things I knew I had been waiting too long to start, which actually made me feel like I was quote unquote too late as well. The perfect moment is literally the moment you create for yourself when you decide to take that first step and say, fuck it, I'm going to figure it out or I'm going to ask for help, right? Now I want to talk about self-doubt for a second because we all also have that. You know, that little voice in your head that creeps in saying things like, who am I to do this? What if I fail? What if no one listens or buys my product or reads my blog? All those little voices that try to convince you that you're not enough and that your dream is too big. So many people around me have dreams that are insanely big. And that is why I advocate for getting in rooms and getting around people who are doing things that you want to be doing or already living and moving in a way that you want to be moving. And I always tell my son too, if you didn't care about something, you wouldn't have that fear. And that fear is just an indicator for me that I actually really give a shit about something. And those voices, they just try to convince you that you're not enough, that your dream's too big, but if you just remember that self-doubt is not a sign that you're not capable, it's a sign that you care. It means pushing yourself into new territory possibly. It means that maybe you're on the verge of something big. Because again, let's face it, if you didn't care about what you were doing, you wouldn't feel that fear. I just want you to remember self-doubt is literally across the board a universal experience. Every single successful woman that I've ever known, every trailblazer, as we like to call them now, every entrepreneur, even every corporate woman that I've ever known, any woman who's ever chased a dream has felt this at some point. It's part of the process. I know that sucks to hear. I really know. I do. So when it pops up, instead of letting it paralyze you or cause other symptoms like anxiety or overwhelm, this is where you got to flip the script. You got to use that self-doubt as the literal fuel to remind yourself that you are on the right path. Because that discomfort, it means that growth is happening. And so for that, we just want to thank it, acknowledge it, all of that. And I get it. The uncertainty about the future, about what will happen when we take that leap, can feel really overwhelming. Trust me. If you know my story and you've been here a while, you know I get that. It's like you're standing on the edge of a cliff looking down into the unknown. But what if you shifted your mindset a little bit around that? What if instead of seeing uncertainty as like a threat, like I might die if I try this, we viewed it as an opportunity? Because in truth, every great thing that's ever happened in the world came from someone stepping into uncertainty, embracing it, and not knowing what was going to be on the other side. This is where where trust in yourself comes in. Your trust that even if things don't go according to plan, you'll learn, you'll make adjustments, you'll adapt, you'll course correct, and you'll be stronger, wiser, and more resilient for it. I recently saw a post actually today from a girl that started a partnership with a new company, and big grandiose announcement, big photo shoot for it. It was a big pivot for her. And that was a couple months ago. They started the company, made it public, all the things. And I saw today on her story, she made a public post about not being part of that anymore and that she felt super out of alignment with it. And that she had to have a literal ego death conversation with herself, that letting it go wasn't going to mean something, and that she was allowed to change her mind, and that she's still alive and she's still here. And though it might feel like a failure or seem like a failure, it felt like a rebirth for her. I mean, when we think about it, we let fear and uncertainty hold us back because we don't believe in the power of those little small actions that are actually going to get us closer to our ultimate goal. We think that to get where we want to go, we have to have everything figured out. I hear so many people want to know the exact plan for the podcast, or like what's the end goal or the tangible result going to be on the other side. And I feel for people who need so much certainty in their life. I know that comes as a trauma response to a lot of things. So many people want to have shit mapped out, but I'm telling you, it's not about perfection. As you all know, that's why the show is called Unscripted. It's about progress. I actually scripted out a lot of today's episode because I want to bring you guys powerful content in a more concise way. So I'm sharing my thoughts and building out structures on ChatGPT to help me get to the point of what I really want to share with you, to get you out of your way, to take action, to make you feel seen and heard when you're on this show. Because every single tiny step forward that you make towards your goal matters. It matters. It truly freaking matters. And like I said, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. That first email that you send to a potential client, the first podcast episode, the first anything, your first post on Instagram. It's all about building that momentum. And once you start, you'll realize that taking action, not perfect action, is where and what starts to quiet the fear. Remember, momentum is the antidote to fear. It's easier to stay in motion than to be paralyzed by what ifs. Momentum is the antidote to fear. So if you're sitting there thinking, okay, Jess, but what if I fail? I hear you. I have just as many failures to stack up. It's a valid concern. But I want you to ask yourself this. What if you succeed? As a lot of my friends like to say, how good can it get? What if this is exactly what you're meant to be doing, and the only thing standing in your way is your own fear? What if you took the leap, no matter how scared, and found out that everything you ever wanted was waiting for you on the other side? I mean, hell fucking yeah. That's a fuck yeah Friday. I could get behind that. I want to think like that. Here's the thing. Fear will always be there, but so will your courage. So will your resilience. And most importantly, so will your ability to keep going no matter what. Women are just built differently. I want you to know that you're more than capable. which I know you know. And the only way to prove that to yourself time and time again is to step into that fear. Take that first step, keep moving forward no matter how uncertain the road ahead seems. All right, my friends, that's it for today on Unscripted. I hope this conversation gave you the nudge you needed to take that big leap. No more letting fear and uncertainty keep you from your dreams. I know you got this. I got this. I'd love to hear from you. What is one big goal? What is one big goal you've been holding back on? Head over to Instagram, drop me a message or tag me in your post, and let's keep this conversation going. And like always, until next time, remember, life is too short to wait for perfect. Go make it happen. If this is the episode you needed to hear to finally sign up for the Start Your Damn Podcast course, let's freaking go. We kick off on Tuesday next week, April 1st. This is the live cohort. We're doing a 60-minute call every Tuesday in the month of April, where you will get all of the support, strategy, frameworks, and tools that you need to launch your podcast with confidence. No more sitting in indecision. You'll be locking arms with a handful of other women who are also starting their damn podcast, wanting to build community, wanting to become thought leaders, wanting to build deeper relationships with those that they're having on the show, building community, all of the things. I'm so grateful for this podcast. I'm so grateful for all the listeners on the show. Unscripted is what it is because guys allow me to be me, and I can't wait to support you in chasing your dreams and goals. I'll see you on the next episode of Unscripted. Giving back is easy. Leave Unscripted your 5-star rating and written review. I appreciate your support more than I could ever put into words.